I have been around in the makeup scene long enough to have seen many products come and go, many products come to popularity and leave, and many products holding the test of time. For today's video, I am going to be reviewing some of the most iconic makeup over the years in 2024. The longer the item was an icon, the better. And I wanted to make sure I picked products that were still sold today. And why I think this is so fun, it's because over the years, trends have come and gone. The preferences in makeup are different. With the new coming and going of trends, people are looking for different things and different products. There's new and improved technology to create these products. And if you've asked me over the years, makeup brands have just made their quality better and better. The standard with each passing year, I feel like, is set higher. So I wanted to choose some makeup products that were so popular 20 plus years ago, some a little newer than others, but you get the idea, and tell you what I think about them in 2024. Did these really, truly, being the icons that they are, stand the test of time? That's what we're gonna find out today. Definitely make sure you check out part one because I have some of the most iconic icons in part one, of course, but there was a good number of requests for more products. You guys had some great ideas for this. So I went ahead, I picked up some new products, and pulled out what I have, and I have some pretty iconic stuff. Some of this stuff, it's gonna give you whiplash way back into the day. So let's go ahead and get into it to probably one of the most iconic makeup primers ever. And we're starting off with a flop on my part because I picked Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. That, when I was getting into the days of makeup, was literally the most iconic primer. The only one that people were using back in the day. But my flop here, I swore I had it, so I didn't buy it for today's video. And I pulled a dummy because I only have the Photo Finish Primerizer Hydrating Primer, which is different. So, I don't even know why I'm mentioning my failure to you. I'm just gonna put this on because this isn't exactly relevant. This was my favorite primer from Smashbox, even over the OG Photo Finish Primer. But my skin was feeling dry, so I needed one anyways, and I needed to share my failures with you, so maybe next time we'll get the real Photo Finish Primer. I wonder, because I got a package with all of the Smashbox primers. There's one place I can look. Hold on. I thought I'd given it away. Sometimes my hoardish tendencies come in handy. I don't know why I didn't think to look there until now. It was in my PR bins to be given away, but nobody had taken it yet. So I guess we're double doing the primer today, which is fine because this one's supposed to be more of a blurring primer. Oh yeah, it reminds me of the Fenty Beauty blurring primer, if I'm comparing it to more modern day popular brands. Yeah, so this is definitely not going to help makeup last longer, but it is kind of blurring over the pores. They're adding that kind of filler in the area that there are pores, and it's very smoothing. Very nice. I think, does it stand out anymore? Does it deserve icon status in 2024? Probably not. There's other primers out there that work the same as this, so it's not a standout anymore, but it was the OG, and it deserves some recognition for that. Let's to pin back my hair. Okay, foundation. Probably the most iconic foundation in the world. Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm surprised I didn't even use this in the first video, but I must add it because even to this day, this icon right here is still being mentioned constantly as a recommendation on my channel. But she still doesn't automatically come with a pump, which is a very, very outdated thing about this. You can buy them, they sell them, but you shouldn't have to, okay? It's the principle. In fact, I do have the pump for it. I just haven't connected it yet. Anyways. Now, you know, a big part of this video is the item outdated and overrated nowadays? Does it deserve any recognition in 2024? And you know, the Smashbox primer, in my opinion, probably not. But this foundation from Estee Lauder, absolutely. If you are going to Disney World and are sweating your balls off, this is a foundation you want to wear, and it doesn't feel too dry on the skin. It doesn't sit too heavy on the skin, and you can also build it up to get pretty full coverage with this if you want to. With any foundation, you can always sheer it out a bit by using less. But this foundation, it can get you there in terms of coverage if you want it to. Obviously, it will feel heavier. But this is such a gorgeous foundation. And even to this day, all these years later, this best-selling iconic foundation is still beating out all the newbies, beating out all the new foundations that people are saying are great and amazing. Like, if you want to talk about long wearing, it is still all about the Estee Lauder Double Wear. So absolutely not outdated or overrated, but they could give us a pump for free attached to it. Thank you. Oh, gorgeous. Just stay in the order that I typically do my makeup. I'm gonna work on my eyebrows now. And for me, the first eyebrow brand I had ever heard of was Anastasia Beverly Hills. I know we know Benefit to this day as the iconic brow brand, but no, you're wrong. It's actually Anastasia Beverly Hills. This was even before my time. Anastasia Beverly Hills was known for brows. Benefit came in and copied ABH is what happened. But the copycat did a really good job. Honestly, I love Benefit brow products, but I will always have a special place in my heart because ABH, they had a little counter in Nordstrom, and that was the first time I ever got my brows done, and I went there for years. So I'm using the iconic Brow Wiz that I've been buying in a set with the iconic clear brow gel, which I will use momentarily, and am still using to this day. Now, brows is one of those categories, one, that's very, very trendy. Different trends for eyebrows go in and out all of the time. So different products for said trends are always coming in and out and trending. And two, it's a category of makeup where over the years, they have really improved what is available and the quality around the product, because back in the day, ABH was the only one you could buy that was going to be of quality. Now you can walk into the drugstore and I can tell you 5 different brow pencils that are going to work about the same as this one. So I still think ABH is one of my favorite brow pencils, but there's not as much of a lead as there once was. You know, I still purchase and use the product for the nostalgia of it, for my loyalty to the brand over the years. But it is at this point an overrated brow product. It's still lovely. I still love it. I still use it, but it's just not as iconic compared to the rest of the market as it once was. So, still great. I still love to purchase these on sale. I would never purchase this full price anymore. Get it in a good deal or a bundle, but yeah, the industry has really caught up to ABH. Also going to use the clear brow gel. I wonder how many of these I've gone through in my lifetime. It has to be 20 at least. I always bought these for the Nordstrom sales in duos. Always, always. And this is not the strongest hold brow gel, which again goes to the trending brow thing that I was saying. I like a stronger hold brow because I like my brows placed specifically, which is a little bit more trendy. This is just like a nice medium hold brow gel, which if I'm doing a more natural brow day, I don't mind reaching for this. But it's not an all-time favorite of mine anymore, but it's still good. But the brow gel market is booming right now. There's a lot of good ones, so still good, but it's like kind of middle of the road nowadays. Okay, concealer. I have a concealer that I remember my mom having when I was a child. I was always very intrigued by its gold packaging. This is the YSL Touche Eclat Radiant Touch Concealers. I had to dig this one out of my PR box because I was like, I know I've gotten that in PR before. So I haven't used this in a while. I don't even know what color this is. It still has that same packaging where it has the brush attached. They just don't make it like this anymore. I remember growing up, my mom had a ton of these products where the liquid would come out of the pre-installed brush. I think it was, I love going down memory lane, but I think it was the Stila lip glosses that had this packaging that you would put on the lips as well back in Stila's heyday. I'm having problems with getting product coming out of this. I have to say, I don't love this packaging. First of all, it would be nice if the product would come out. Well, this is not really, there we go. Yeah, I don't love this packaging. I think it's outdated and they could update it because the idea is great. The functionality, questionable. Now this is a very light coverage concealer. It's definitely more natural. I still think it's a beautiful formula, and I'm speaking from the times that I semi-recently used this before opening up this fresh one. I don't know why or when, but I have tried this recently. I must have decluttered it for some reason, and YSL sends a lot of random packages, so must have entered my collection again. Yeah, I don't like the packaging. It's outdated, but it's a beautiful concealer if you're looking for something natural. It's very, very lightweight. It's definitely different than the concealers that are popular right now. We prefer thicker concealers right now, but I wouldn't call it hydrating, but it's definitely not drying. Would I have spent my own money on this? Happily, because I love the quality of this product so much more compared to more modern makeup? No. So there you go. Powder. I'm excited about this for setting because I was thinking there's none other than Laura Mercier translucent powder, but I did that in my first video. And then I remembered our CMA no color powder, which I don't know how old this is. It's never been opened. I bought this for my makeup kit years ago when I was doing bridal makeup. And I was digging through my ancient makeup kit that I'm not going to touch anybody's face with. It's absolutely expired. But I still keep it sometimes for the nostalgia. It's like a time capsule, my little makeup kit. I have a lot of professional products like this, which for a time it used to be popular. It still is. Like the makeup artist secrets, that products that makeup artists are using on set and on film. And this was one of those. So I have this cap. I'm just gonna pat this on. Let's see. I've never used it before. Like they'll use this for special effects makeup because it's a no color powder. So it's not going to change the color of the makeup underneath, which I find a lot of powders do. You'll notice that even with translucent powders, sometimes they'll shift the color of the makeup and deepen it. What do you think? Honestly, this has done a really good job setting. It definitely looks a little bit drier where I applied it. This is strictly for setting makeup, I would say. You know, it's not doing any blurring by any means, but it's quite industrial. Definitely made for professional use, that's for certain. Honestly, I'm not mad at it. I think it did a really good job setting my makeup. I do feel a little bit dry though now. I definitely will be setting with a setting spray to kind of add some hydration back, but it's the true OG no color powder, strictly business for sure. Not as fun. I prefer a blurring powder, so I'm buying the more modern powders, but I can see its purpose for professional use for sure. Bronzer. I was going to declutter this yesterday, but then I kept it specifically for this video. I remember in the days of getting into YouTube, NARS Laguna bronzer was the bronzer that everybody was using, and I must have got this as a little sample here. But here we have this dirty looking bronzer. This looks like it's gonna be muddy on me, and it's funny because I think of the bronzers that were trending back then, Benefit Hoola, like nowadays I feel like that's too dark and dirty looking on me, and Laguna's kind of close to that, so I think it's going to be a similar story. Now I know since I've got this, NARS might have reformulated this because they're slowly reformulating and repackaging their line. This is definitely the old packaging. So just keep that in mind. I'm using this really loosely packed brush because I do fear looking muddy with this bronzer. But bronzer is one of the product groups here that really got a facelift in the last few years. So many bronzers have come out. Right now, cream bronzers all the rage, and then glowy bronzers is kind of what's in to set those cream bronzers. This is matte, baby. And definitely for what's trending right now, this is going to come off as outdated for sure. It's pretty standard though, right? It's getting the job done. It definitely has some warmth to it. It does require me to use a softer brush just so that I don't end up looking dirty, so it's working great on me. I'm not going to say there's anything unique and icon worthy about this bronzer anymore. Maybe back in the day, but I would say it's a little outdated. It's dark, it's very, very flat for this being considered a universal bronzer color. It is quite middle of the road, but I know us pale girls were using this back in the day. Anyways, a bit outdated, but it's not bad. NARS has done many iterations of Laguna since the Laguna days, but I remember having a big fat Laguna bronzer and placing it all over my face. Now for blush. I wanted to pick a drugstore icon here, which is Milani Luminoso. I of course also know Orgasm is the most iconic blush in the world, but from the drugstore it's 100% Luminoso. They've definitely tweaked the formulation and color over the years. It's not quite the same as it once was, but I still find it to be a beautiful blush. And Milani is a good brand to go to if you want a drugstore blush. Not even just this baked formula. Any of their blush formulas I find are really good. These are really easy to apply, and I still enjoy Luminoso to this day. It honestly was one of a kind back in the day. I'm saying one of a kind, but it was more on the unique side because of its baked gelée formulation and the glow that it gives, because I feel like over the years matte blush was so in, and it's honestly up to this point in 2024, it is quite on trend, a formulation like this in blush. So it truly, I think, is a formulation that has absolutely stood this test of time, and it still is a relevant and competitive formula to this day. For sure, it is a good one. Now for setting spray, I was gonna do, of course, the iconic Urban Decay setting spray, all-nighter. That one is still one of the most long-lasting setting sprays to this day as well. But even before there was Urban Decay all-nighter, there was Skindinavia, the makeup finishing setting spray. This is the OG all-nighter. In fact, I believe Skindinavia, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they partner with Urban Decay for their all-nighter setting spray? Anyways, this was what everybody used before Urban Decay all-nighter. This is truly an icon. Whew, it smells potent, but not terrible, not like putting hairspray on the face. But it has that smell, you know, like it's gonna make your makeup last a long time, and it absolutely does. Now I will admit, while this is the OG popular setting spray, I do reach for all-nighter more. I'm a brand girl, I love a good brand name, but Skindinavia is great as well, and it definitely does make the makeup last longer for sure. So if you haven't given it a try, you don't need to because we have all-nighter, which is basically the same thing, but she did it first, so I wanted to mention it. And I think, you know, over the years, maybe this was more for the professional in mind, but there are other brands the professionals use. But anyways, they didn't market it good enough because it's just not as relevant anymore. And that's a whole nother topic, of course. There are so many factors behind that. But let's get to the eyeshadow. Now, I used Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion last time. Eyeshadow primer was definitely more of a trending type of product back in the day. The other one was Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance, which I swore up and down I had, but no, I didn't. So I'm going to use Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion again, but Too Faced Shadow Insurance is like pretty much the exact same thing as Urban Decay. But yes, I was a Urban Decay Shadow Primer Potion whatever user back in the day when it was in the shape of a little potion. And then everybody complained about it because there was like this ball and you couldn't get all of the product out, and there were YouTube videos of people like cutting it in half and getting the extra product out, so they switched it over to a squidgy tube, which it used to not have the doe foot for a while, but they brought that back. We like the doe foot. Anyways, this works. And I couldn't help myself. I don't even know that you can get this anymore, but they just recently did a re-release of it, so this is the most iconic eyeshadow palette of all time. This is what made beauty YouTube popular. Everybody had the Naked palette, and they sold it for so long and beat the life out of the Naked eyeshadow palette line to the point where they realized they had to stop that. They ended up discontinuing this Naked palette, and then all of a sudden people were like, bring it back, even though we all said we were sick of it. And so they did, and it sold out. But you know what? I think that little showcase of there, whether for marketing reasons or not, it worked. Even I find myself using this palette and enjoying it, even though many years ago I called this outdated and boring, and it needed to be redone and upgraded. And this wasn't, and I've been enjoying it. But I still stand by, like, we need more mattes in here, and we need more matte dark browns. But anyways, one of my all-time favorite shadows in here is Naked. I reach for Naked all the time. It's like the best starting crease shade. So let's use it. So I do have mixed feelings because, like I said, I stand by, like, there's some things that could be updated about this palette, but having it next to me every single day, I reach for it quite a lot, especially considering there's competition with this palette. I test makeup for a living. There's always products competing to be used by me. And this is one that I reach for, first of all, because I love the shade Naked in so many cases. It's just the perfect crease color. I've been into it. Like, I'm embarrassed to admit it as somebody who has made a whole thing about it being outdated and how they needed to move on. And then they brought it back. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this palette. I think I like it now that more light, natural makeup is in. But it was boring for us back in the colorful 2016, 2018, I guess, makeup days. I'm going to take a little bit of Dark Horse, which is a shimmer shade. I wish it were matte. But you know what? It is outdated. But back in the day, who cared about matte shadows versus shimmer? You wanted shimmer everywhere. When I went to makeup school, and I don't know why, but this specific tip has stuck in my head. She said, for any makeup look, you just want one matte shade. Really, you can put shimmer in the crease. It doesn't matter. But you just want at least one, whether it be this outer corner color or the crease color. But other than that, don't be scared of shimmer, which I don't even really fully live by because I can do an all shimmer look too. But anyways, it's just something I think about constantly. For some reason, okay? This is like the queen of palettes to be used for the most simple makeup look. I always use either Sin or Sidecar. I'm actually going to start off with Virgin. This is a very old school YouTube tip, but highlight the brow bone. And Virgin is the perfect shade for that little bit of shine, but not being too much. Sidecar through the years has been my favorite eyeshadow lid color. This screams high school to me. I would wake up at the crack of dawn to do my makeup. I prioritized that. Sidecar was often half-baked. They had like a whole half-baked palette. Let's do half-baked. Just like a classic light gold shade. So, what is my review on this in 2024? I like it more than I thought I did. I really do like it for the 2024 style makeup. I'd change a few things, but it's not quite as outdated anymore, actually. So, it's more so iconic, not even really for the quality. It's just iconic for the wave that it made in the industry. Because quality-wise, Is it one of the best eyeshadow palettes I've ever used? No, not even close. But man, the history this holds, you guys already know probably. Ugh, if you're older than 12, which I do have some younger viewers, which, sorry. Granny over here is just talking about the good old days. That's that for eyeshadow. Let's move on to eyeliner. Now, this was the second eyeliner I'd ever used. This was like one of the first items ever that I made my mom buy for me at Sephora when I was getting into makeup. Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. I had heard on YouTube that this was all the rage, drugged my mom to Sephora and made her pull out her wallet to buy me the electric blue electric shade of this. Made her buy me the kits so I had multiple shades. I love you, Mom. Thank you. It all paid off. Look where I'm at today. But I do have, I'm constantly getting these in little gift with purchases. The 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Smoke Out. And I've always loved these. I think they're great. And these are, I need to sharpen this. You know, eye pencils like this are having a resurgence for me. I'm talking about myself personally. Because while I did used to use eyeliner pencils in middle school, because I loved the waterline look where I would have nothing on except for eyeliner in my waterline, it was liquid liners that were the popular form of liners. And in the last couple of years, my love for eyeliner pencils has come back. It's just softer. I didn't really understand that back in the day, because why would you want a soft look? You know, eyeliner pencils were stupid to me. And now, love them. I love just drawing a line. This is a little stiff, but that has to do, I think, it's just not fresh. Had it for who knows how long. But I'm just smudging it out a little bit. One thing I can still say about these eyeliner pencils to this day is they last a very long time. They really stay on super well. And I put the pencil on my hand just to show you. It does not budge. It's a good eyeliner pencil. I definitely think it's still competitive with the pencils that are out nowadays. There's some very good pencils, and I think with whatever technology these labs have, they've managed to create products that are really, really creamy upon application but have a very strong dry down. So this isn't quite like those new ones. The new ones are probably better for that, but I still think this holds its own. Seriously. I'm gonna curl my lashes with the iconic Shiseido Lash Curler. This does technically fit in the theme of the video. This was the first eyelash curler I ever bought, but I just rebought one recently and it's still the best in the world. And I bought this mascara, Lancome Hypnose Drama. I did Definicils for part 1, but Lancome was that girl back in the day for mascaras. So let's try Hypnose Drama. Look at this wavy wand. And mascaras from Lancome are still good, I swear. They're so lightweight on the lashes. I like them. Now, mascara. The mascara market is pretty competitive nowadays. Especially from the drugstore, you know, they just have good mascaras. It's not necessary to pay a hefty price point for a mascara like Lancome. But Lancome got some good mascaras. I love Definicils. I love one that I can't remember the name of, Monsoor Big. And I'm pretty sure I'm liking me some Hypnose Drama, which is of no surprise to me. Was not sad to purchase this because I knew I was gonna like it. Now I need to run to the drugstore actually if I am to do a part 3 and get that pink and green one. That's the mascara that I think of when I think of mascaras growing up. Because it was like the cheapest one at the drugstore and everybody used it. But people are saying it's horrible. I'll be the judge of that. But I need more ideas for part 3. So get your thinking caps on if you want a part 3. I don't love this so much for my lower lashes. I got a little messy on these little things. But upper lashes look great. Wow. Second coat. She's giving drama. Okay. Let's finish with lips. I had a few options that I wanted to do, but ultimately, I decided I'm going to do a color, Buxom Dolly. Buxom, their lip line back in the day, was a lot more popular and more buzzworthy than it is now, But their #1 bestseller was Dolly, and I remembered a lot of people talking about Dolly. And I did check in with my assistant, ChatGPT, who also confirmed that Dolly was as iconic as I remember. So let's put Dolly on the lips today because I got some PR from Buxom from their holiday collection in which they made Dolly the literal star of the show. So I'm using this Cheers to Dolly Plumping Lip Trio, and it's such a cute holiday set. I believe it was the Dolly lip gloss that was the most popular, but we're gonna do the color. So I have the Powerline Plumping Lip Liner. Now this is not Dolly, this is the shade Dangerous Dolly, but it's supposed to be very flattering to the OG Dolly color. And this is marketed as the same idea as Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. You know, where it's supposed to be a wearable pink that's flattering on everybody. Okay, now let's use the lip cream in Dolly. And it is quite a flattering pink on me. I wouldn't say it would be for everybody, but I'm pretty new to Dolly. If I tried Dolly in the past, I don't remember it, but I remember it being spoken of. And this set also has a lip polish in Dolly. I think they're kind of the same formula, but let's put this one on too. And Buxom is like a plumping brand, so their stuff has that minty plumping sensation to the lips. It's really nice. I like Buxom. I think they have great quality products in general. I mean, Dolly is a pretty color. Obviously not really for everybody, but it will definitely work for a lot of different skin tones. I like Lancome mascaras as well because since they're so lightweight, they dry really fast too. So I can get that last curl in without having to wait too long. Now, do I think Dolly is competitive in today's market? Gosh, there's so many lip products. No, not because it's not good quality, it's just like an insane amount of competition and everybody's done their version of a universal pink lip, so it doesn't stand out in today's market, but that doesn't mean I don't like it in 2024 because I definitely think it's pretty for sure. It's giving Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk 2, like medium 2. I think this is more universal than Pillow Talk, if I'm being honest, which was the other option that I was going to do in today's video, because Pillow Talk's more iconic than Dolly, but I felt like doing Dolly. Now, what I do have to say that's making me giggle is like, this is a full face of products that were popular 10 plus years ago, and my makeup looks fantastic. A bit dry, like I said, I probably want to go in with a more modernized formula, a hydrating setting spray, which probably was not as popular back in the day. And with that, my makeup would look perfect. You know, all of these products were icons for one reason or another, and whether or not I think they're competitive with the market today, they're still very good products at base. There is not a single product that I used in today's video that I did not like. There are definitely products here that probably are not as good as they once were given the improvements to the industry. But I'm sure some of these products have also been reformulated since the time that they were iconic to match up, like Milani Luminoso, for example. But let me know in the comments, have you tried any of these iconic products in 2024? And what is your review of them now? And is it different than how you felt about them back in the day? That's what I want to know down below. That was the whole point of this video, to tell you my modern thoughts on these products. And they're still good, you know. A lot of these have absolutely stood the test of time and are still known in the market today, and for very, very good reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I would love to see a part 3. Give me some suggestions down below. I do have a running list. Not enough to do a part 3, but I have some ideas if you want to help me with that. And I'm going to end today's video. I'll have part 1 linked down below for you guys to check out if you want to see more. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.